Hi everyone. Today I will discuss about anatomy of cavernous sinus. If you want notes of this tutorial, please visit my Telegram channel. Link is given in description below. At first, before starting by definition of cavernous sinus, let's look from the figure. Here, this is superior view and anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa and posterior cranial fossa. In middle cranial fossa, this is sphenoid bone, body of sphenoid bone, and here is cavernous sinus. Cavernous sinus, right and left, and here is anterior and posterior intercavernous sinus. So cavernous sinus is dural venous sinus that lie on either side of body of sphenoid bone in middle cranial fossa, extending from superior orbital fissure anterior to apex of petrous temporal bone posterior. That is, here will be petrous temporal bone posteriorly and anteriorly will be and superior orbital fissure. So cavernous sinus is dural venous sinus, anteriorly superior orbital fissure and posteriorly petrous temporal bone. And its average length is 2 cm and wide of 1 cm. The cavity of cavernous sinus is formed by between two layers of dura mater. That is, it is type of dural venous sinus, and dural venous sinus is formed by two layer, outer and inner layer. Outer will be periosteal, also called endosteal, and inner will be meningeal layer. So if we give coronal section from here, we'll see like this. Here, this is pituitary gland, this is cavernous sinus bilaterally, and this is meningeal layer. Inside is meningeal layer, this is meningeal layer, and outer will be periosteal layer. And cavernous sinus, this is lateral wall and roof, which is formed by meningeal layer, and medial wall and floor is formed by periosteal, also called endosteal layer. And now talking about relation of cavernous sinus structure outside the sinus, superiorly, inferiorly, medially. Superiorly, optic tract, optic chiasma, olfactory tract, internal carotid artery. From figure, superior relation will be optic tract, optic chiasma, internal carotid artery, and also olfactory nerve shown in this figure. Here, optic tract, chiasma, olfactory nerve here. About superior relation, then inferior relation, foramen lastrum and junction of body and greater wing of sphenoid bone. In this figure, inferior relation is foramen lastrum and junction of body and greater wing of sphenoid bone. This is body of sphenoid bone and this is greater wing of sphenoid bone. So junction and foramen lastrum is inferior relation. And about medially, hypophysis cerebri and sphenoidal ear sinus. Here, this is sphenoid bone and sphenoidal ear sinus and pituitary gland, also called hypophysis cerebri. This is the medial relation of cavernous sinus. And also laterally, temporal lobe with uncus. Here, laterally, this is uncus part of temporal lobe. Also, in this figure, this is uncus part of temporal lobe. And anteriorly, we already described, anteriorly is superior orbital fissure and apex of orbit, and posteriorly apex of petrous temporal bone and crus cerebri of the midbrain. Now, the structures within the lateral wall of sinus. What are the structures that lie on within lateral wall of sinus? They are oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerve, third cranial nerve, fourth cranial nerve, and ophthalmic nerve, first branch of trigeminal, maxillary nerve, second branch of trigeminal nerve, B1 and B2. These are structures that lie within lateral wall of sinus. But in case of maxillary nerve, according to 41st Gray's Anatomy, this is not included in lateral wall, but its course is along the beneath of dura mater in middle cranial fossa. That is, this is not included in lateral wall according to 41st Gray's Anatomy, but others book has included it traditionally. So for MCQ purpose, we can exclude in lateral wall to maxillary nerve, but in other cases we can include this four structure in lateral wall of sinus. Here this is lateral wall. In lateral wall, here is oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerve, and ophthalmic nerve, and maxillary nerve is also included traditionally, but according to 41st Gray's Anatomy, it has excluded. But we can, in theoretical, we can include this. But if question comes in MCQ, we will exclude this maxillary nerve from lateral wall. So also structures within medial aspect of sinus. In medial aspect of sinus, that is internal carotid artery with venous and sympathetic plexus around this. Another structure, abducent nerve. Abducent nerve is cranial nerve 6, inferior lateral to internal carotid artery. Here in medial aspect, here is carotid, internal carotid artery, and inferior lateral it is abducent nerve. Abducent nerve and internal carotid artery. Here is shown abducent nerve and this is internal carotid artery. Talking about tributaries and draining channel. Suppose this is cavernous sinus here, and about tributaries that is incoming channel in cavernous sinus are from BOM, from brain, of orbit and meninges. From brain, two veins are there, superficial middle cerebral vein and inferior cerebral vein. Drains or incomings into cavernous sinus. From orbit, superficial ophthalmic, inferior ophthalmic and central vein of retina. From orbit, incoming channel into cavernous sinus. And from meninges, sphenoparietal sinus and anterior trunk of middle meningeal vein. These are tributaries or incoming channel of cavernous sinus. Now about draining channel, that is outgoing channel from cavernous sinus. What are outgoing channel from cavernous sinus? They are outgoing from cavernous sinus. They are transverse sinus via superior petrosal sinus. We already discussed about this in detail in dural venous sinus. Transverse sinus is communicating with superior petrosal sinus. That is draining channel of cavernous sinus is outgoing channel is transverse sinus. Another is internal jugular vein via inferior petrosal sinus. That is pterygoid plexus of vein through emissary vein. Superior ophthalmic vein. Here confusion may be created. What is superior ophthalmic vein is also in incoming channel and also in draining channel. It is because it has valveless, so flow may be bidirectional due to absence of valve. So it is also draining channel of cavernous sinus. Another is facial vein. It is through pterygoid plexus and superior ophthalmic vein. Another is maxillary vein through pterygoid venous plexus. And intercavernous sinus, anterior and posterior intercavernous sinus is also draining channel. And another is basilar plexus of vein is also draining channel of cavernous sinus. The clinical anatomy, cavernous sinus thrombosis. It may be caused by sepsis in dangerous area of the face, in nasal cavity, and in paranasal ear sinuses. That is formation of thrombus in cavernous sinus. Another is pulsating exophthalmos. That is, with each heartbeat, eyeball is protruding and pulsating. That is called pulsating exophthalmos. This is internal carotid artery inside the cavernous sinus. If there is communication between this artery and venous sinus by head injury, is with each heartbeat there is pulsation in carotid artery, and pulsation will be spread into the cavernous sinus, and through cavernous sinus will be into eyeball via superior orbital fissure. So there will be pulsating exophthalmos. So communication between cavernous sinus and internal carotid artery may be produced by head injury. When this happens, eyeball protrude and pulsate with each heartbeat, called pulsating exophthalmos.